Guy, it's great to meet you. Thank you so much for your time today.
Cheers, no
I
worries.
absolutely love the film. It's my favourite film of the year so far.
Great. Oh.
The one-liners in it are absolutely fantastic. Were they always scripted, or did you bring that character to Snow yourself?
They were always scripted. I mean, Stephen St Ledger and James, our two directors, were very keen to make sure I understood that was the kind of character that they wanted. And Stephen wrote these great one-liners. I mean, I adjusted some of them just to make them work better for me, you know. But I think that was part of the appeal. Ultimately, was that there was a guy who even amongst whatever situation he was in, he had a kind of a sarcastic kind of take on it, you know. But I didn't want to play it just for the movie's sake, you know. I needed to sort of find a real person who actually behaves that way and actually speaks like that. So
where did you sort of get that character from? Where did you?
Well, it was there on the page, but it was just about discussing his history, I suppose. You know, he's somebody who obviously very skilled, comes from a background of sort of special operations, CIA operative or whatever, and seen some, difficult and dark things. But I think, in having seen those things, probably represses some of that difficult stuff, and probably uses humour to kind of get through his day, you know. But then when you see private moments at the beginning, when his old friend Frank kind of dies in his arms, that's a heavy moment for him. So, but I also understand that the film is really a piece of entertainment. We're not making a heavy drama. But still, as I say, as an actor, I need to kind of feel like there's credibility to that person as a person.
And this role is really different to anything I think I've seen you do before. Was that also something that pulled you in and you wanted to do it because of it?
Yeah. I mean, I like to sort of, take turns left and right whenever I can and find things that are different and varying, and this was one of those opportunities, So yeah.
That's great. The budget for this wasn't gigantic, and I was reading about recycling sets and things. They had to actually you made sure you finished one scene and then knock it down and then build it again.
That's right. And when the guys took me through, when I got to the studios in Serbia for the first time, and they took me through and sort of showed me everything, they were saying, okay, well, this is this now, and then when we finish filming this, we're going to take that half of that set and we're going to put it here and we're going to turn it into that, and then show me a picture of what they're going to turn it into. So it was most economic.
Yeah, that's great. But things like Prometheus, which you've got coming up as well, I guess, is that completely different in the way that it's done because the budget's so much higher and that sort of thing?
But probably. I mean, I wasn't on Prometheus for that long, so I felt like a little bit of an outsider to some degree. They'd been filming for about a month before I got there, and so unlike Lockout, where I was there from start to finish, I never really fully got a sense of the workings of it to the degree that Michael Fassbender or Numi or Charlize might have. But yes, I mean, it's a bigger budget film. It's a different kind of film. It's a far more serious film, and obviously highly anticipated.
Absolutely. On Lockout, there's two directors. Was that strange for you working with the two?
Well, no, because James is the cinematographer, so his focus is the cinematography, really, and Stephen is the one that you end up sort of communicating with about performance and the differences between one take and another. And that's not to say that James is not involved in that, but it wasn't one of those experiences where you literally had someone giving you direction and then someone else giving you direction and you're kind of going, what's going on? And those guys have worked together many times before on all the commercials and short films they've done, so they've got a nice shorthand. Yeah. So no, it wasn't so unusual, really.
Yeah, cool. You've picked some amazing movies in your career. There doesn't seem to be one that stands out as a bad film. Is that due to you, in my opinion, is that you being picky or is that lucky?
It's both. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty picky, but I've been really lucky as well. And the ones that I think I look at and go, oh, they didn't quite work, then you're sort of not so lucky. That, things can't work out as well as they might seem as a script, because I'll pick everything sort of for the same reason, that it moves me. It may move me in different ways, but I pick them because of the reaction that I have to them. And sometimes they come out better on screen and sometimes they don't, and so you never really know which way they're going to go.
Yeah, cool.
So when you do something like King's Speech or Hurt Locker and they have the sort of the attention they do, you feel very lucky, ultimately.
Yeah, cool. Well, I absolutely love Lockout. I thought it was brilliant and I can't wait for everyone else to see it.
Oh, well, cheers. Yeah, good.
Thank you very much for your time today.
No worries.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you very much.